back in 2012, I believe, entering my maybe 14th month in my prison bed when this dude came in there named Lil Terry. Now, I knew Lil Terry from Detroit, Michigan. I knew him like in passing, but I didn't know him. You know, like dudes that you would see on the streets and y'all just say what up to each other and just keep it moving because y'all from the same neighborhood, but y'all don't really talk to each other. There wasn't no beef or nothing, but that's how I knew Lil Terry, just in passing. So when I seen him, he walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, ain't your name Donta?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, what's up, bro? What's up, bro?" Now, check this out, y'all. Remember I said we ain't never talked a day in our lives on the street, but it's good to see a familiar face when you locked up, right? Especially when y'all from the same city. And no, y'all, I am not from Detroit, okay? To be honest, I don't really know where I'm from. Let me give y'all a quick, brief history about me. So, I was born in Detroit. Then from Detroit, I moved to Flint, Michigan. And then from Flint, Michigan, I moved to Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, back to Flint, Michigan. And then from Flint, Michigan, back to Atlanta. And then from Atlanta to Detroit. From Detroit back to Flint. Flint back to Atlanta. Then when I got grown, it was Michigan, Ohio, then back to Michigan. And since I've been doing social media, I've been all over the place. So that's Donta, quick, brief history. So anyway, I'm like, what up? He like, yeah, man, bro, man, yeah, I just got here not too long ago. And I'm like, okay. He like, so, you know, what's going on? I'm like, shoot, I mean, you know, the same old, you know. Have you ever been locked up before? He like, no, I ain't never been locked up. This is my first case. I said, what you do? He said, man, bro, they gave me natural life. I'm like, what they give you natural life for? He was like, man, so this what happened. Me and my baby mama, basically, I ended up shooting some dude that she was in that mess that she was sleeping with. I'm like, well, I mean, okay, but like, what happened? Like, what happened? He like, you want the slow version of it or the long version? I'm like, look, dude, we in prison. Give me the long version, because, you know, just give me the long version. I want to hear all details, like I be giving y'all the details. So he like, all right, bro, so I was cheating on my baby mama for a couple months. And she told me, like, she getting tired of me and this and that, and she gonna get me back. So basically, I get off of work around 2 o'clock in the morning, and when I pull up, there's a car outside. And when I go inside the house, I hear her upstairs moaning. So I pull out my strap and I kick the door in, the bedroom door in. I just get to shooting, right? I just get to shooting wildly. So when I'm shooting wildly, I end up hitting my baby mama twice, but she ain't dying. I end up hitting the dude like 3 or 4 times, and he ended up dying. So, you know, I went on a run for a couple of months, and they ended up catching me, and they extradited me back here to Michigan. I said, God dang. He was like, yeah, they gave me natural life. I said, oh. I said, well, all right, so this how it is here. If you see a phone just like off the hook, don't go over there and pick it up. Don't pick it up. Or you might might have some issues. You might have some trouble. This not like the West Coast, so it ain't racist. Like you can talk to whoever you want to talk to, but just know that be careful who you talk to up in here and like who you affiliate with, because birds of a feather flock together. And, you know, one of the biggest things is like, okay, so it's gay guys in here. We call them punks or we call them boys. But don't be over there hanging with them. Don't be over there, you know, laughing and giggling with them, because what happens is if you over there laughing and giggling with them and, you know, conversating with them day in and day out, other cats going to tie you to them and be like, yeah, he must be gay or he must be a punk or something. And they might treat you accordingly. So that could come in the form of a dude on a down low that don't want to be exposed, might want to push up on you in the showers, or he might want to push up on you while you're in your cell. You might, it's just a bad look. Just don't associate with them. I mean, you can do business with them. It ain't like, it's like, ew, get away from me. Not like that, but, you just got to be careful. Even like with these gang members up here, man, you got to be careful of who you affiliate with, because when they go to war with somebody or they got an issue with somebody from another gang that see you hanging with them, they might like, oh, let's get him. That's their homeboy right there. Let's get him. Right. So you just got to be careful. Another thing, when you in your dorm or your pod or whatever, wherever they send you at, don't be looking at nobody's cell. OK, especially I said, listen, you go hear some things. You might even see some things. Just keep it moving. If you see a fight pop off, don't run to that fight. If you see somebody fighting in the showers or they about to go fight under the stairs or something, don't you go over there looking, because you might get your head cracked next. And, just mind your business. Keep your head low. Don't get into no drugs. Don't be gambling if you ain't, and especially if you out here gambling and you like to shoot dice and, bet on stuff, make sure you have that commissary. All right. Because if you don't have what you owe, that's a whole nother ball game right there. But, yeah, man, prison is like the streets, man. You know how to navigate the streets. I mean, hey, so you like, all right. So what you about to get into? I'm like, nothing. I'm about to walk these laps off right quick before we go in. So he was like, can I walk with you? I'm like, yeah. So we hit the track. So we walking, and he like, hey, bro, I've been here for like a week, and I wanted to ask you something. You know about this dude named Sweet Low? I'm like, yeah, the dude in AB. He like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know about Sweet Low. He was like, well, look, dude, I don't know if he trying to come on to me or I don't know, man, because it's like he be lightweight saying little slick stuff, but I don't know if if that's the way he talk. I said, listen, so they got you on the A side? He said, yeah. Now, the A side and B side is like this, y'all. When you first come in the reception center, they got the A side for violent offenders, right? And when I say violent offenders, it don't matter. It's like, how can I put it? It's like the classification of what you was charged with when you came in. So if you done took somebody's life or violated a woman or a child, you going on A side. And then they got B side, where cats that came from a higher custody level, if they can work their way down with good behavior and stuff, they're going B side. But then they got like a joint side called AB, where they just put both sides in together. And he was on AB side, and this was where Sweet Low was at also. And for everybody that know who Sweet Low is, that y'all been rocking with me from the beginning, y'all know exactly who Sweet Low is. So Sweet Low done pushed up on him low key. So I'm like, you talking about the bald head dude with the beard? He like, yeah. He like 6'6". He like, yeah. I said, what exactly was he saying to you? Like, what was he doing? He was like, well, like the other day we was working out, and, I'm laying down doing the bench presses, and, I've been at gyms when I had somebody to spot me, but this dude, like, literally had his nuts hanging over my damn forehead, while he was spotting me, and I said, what you do? He said, I didn't say nothing. I said, whoa. let me tell you something. There's a thing called a hard press and a slow press, right? And what Sweet Low is doing, he trying to groom you. He throwing out little signals to see how far he can go with it. I said, number one, if you feel something inside of you telling you like something ain't right, it ain't right. And what Sweet Low do, he like young black dudes and young white dudes. And what he doing is trying to groom you. When you was on that bench, when you was bench pressing and he was spotting you, and that's what he does. He try to over exert himself, try to, put his body up on you. And I said, let me guess, he been trying to teach you how to box too. He like, yeah. I said, listen, that's what he like to grab you and try to wrestle with you too. He like, yeah, how you know? I said, dude, I've been seeing this day in, day out. That's what he do. He said, wait. So you saying that he trying to make me his dude or something? I said, yeah. I said, the next time, matter of fact, it should not be no next time, man. Don't work out with him. If he try to give you anything, don't take it. Just stay away from dude. He like, man, that's crazy, dog, because this dude just gave me like 4 white tees. I said, dude, give him back that stuff, man. Give it back to him, because ain't nothing good finna come from that. He gonna feel like that all right. So he like, man, that's crazy, bro. He been feeding me. He been giving me stuff. I said, look, dog, stop talking to him. Give him back them white tees. He like, man, you for real? He like that? I said, yeah, man, that's how he is. So he like, all right. So he left, and we had to go in for yard. The next 3 days, y'all, I did not see him. I didn't see Lil Terry for 3 days, y'all. But I ended up seeing Sweet Low. Now, I know how Sweet Low get down, and I know how he program. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, where Lil Terry at? Because I ain't see Lil Terry for 3 days, but now I'm seeing Sweet Low on the yard, and I'm like, man, I hope he ain't do what I think he did, right? I know everybody thinking like, yeah, Sweet Low got him. So I seen word to do pod, like, hey, y'all seen Lil Terry? And they like, yeah, Lil Terry was in the hospital. He was like, what you mean he was in the hospital? It was like, well, let me tell you what happened. So the other night, couple days ago, he came to Sweet Low, and, he was trying to give him stuff. I don't know exactly what he was trying to give him, but he was trying to give him stuff. And Sweet Low wasn't trying to hear it. All you heard was Sweet Low was like, nah, I don't want that. No, that's you. We supposed to be homeboys. We supposed to be brothers in here. Black people supposed to be sticking together. I don't want nothing from you. I don't know who told you that, I like dudes in here, man. I ain't even like that. But no, you can't give me back what I gave you, because I find that disrespectful and this and that. So he like, I guess Lil Terry like, man, listen, I just don't want to deal with none of this drama and stuff like this. So next thing you know, Sweet Low just take off on him. He start punching on him. And Sweet Low, y'all, is like 6'6", about 250, 260. And Lil Terry, hence the name Lil Terry, he ain't nothing but maybe about 5'8", 5'7", maybe 150 at the most. So Sweet Low had his way with him. So but he ain't violate him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He ain't violate. He just beat him up. So Sweet Low basically told him, like, all right, listen, this what you gonna do. I need for you to get me 2 packs of Newports. 2 packs of Newports, and our debt will be over with. You ain't gotta owe me nothing. And he like, man, what you mean I gotta give you 2 packs of Newport? He like, yeah, I need 2 packs of Newport, and, our debt will be over with. So he like, man, and Sweet Low like, hey, listen, and if you don't get my stuff, this gonna happen every day. So, fast forward 4 days from that day, which is the next day after I put the word out what happened to Lil Terry. I see Lil Terry on the yard now. Hence the thumbnail. Lil Terry eye is closed shut. His left eye is closed shut. Sweet Low been punching on him. So I said, hey man, you all right? He like, yeah, bro, man. I should never listen to you, bro. I said, what you mean? See, people always do that. When you try to give them advice, and then when something go wrong, I should have just kept my mouth closed, right? Right. So he like, yeah, bro, I tried to get Sweet Low back to stuff, and he wasn't taking it, and he just started beating me up, and he told me I need 2 packs of cigarettes, and then the debt will be off. So at this point, y'all, I'm irritated because I was just trying to look out for the dude, but I'm like, all right, man, whatever. So I just walk off. Y'all remember Freaky Freddy? If y'all been rocking with me for the longest, y'all know exactly who Freaky Freddy is. Freaky Freddy is one of them older cats that he runs a store. He got all type of honey buns. He got all type of summer sausages, crackers, the squeeze it cheese, everything. He work in the kitchen. He bring back the onions, bell peppers, all of that, right? So how Freaky Freddy get down, it ain't no shame in his game. He like to get it on with other cats up in there in exchange of commissary. You pay him, you pay him with your body, and he give you whatever you want. That's how Freaky Freddy got down. So word done got to Freaky Freddy about what Sweet Low and Lil Terry got going on. And of course, how Freaky Freddy is, he pulled up on him and was like, hey, listen, I heard about your dilemma, and cigarettes, I got that, but it's gonna cost you though. So dude like Lil Terry like, man, but I ain't gay, man. I ain't about to be doing no gay stuff. He Lil Freaky Freddy like, hey man, ain't nobody in here gay, bruh. We ain't, man, no, we men up in here. Now, this is where I don't know exactly what happened because I wasn't there. I wasn't on a floor. I wasn't in a dormitory. But what was told to me is that Lil Terry kept getting punched on and beat on by Sweet Low for the next 3 days because he ain't had them cigarettes. And well, the beating stopped. And Sweet Low got his cigarettes. And the only person that could produce them cigarettes to Lil Terry is Freaky Freddy. So, hey, check this out, y'all. Donta got a movie that's coming out this October. But y'all got to help me pay for these permits. What these permits is about is shooting at certain locations that, the town want their money for Donta to shoot at. So that's cool. So we doing a crowdsourcing, a crowdfunding, right? I got the PayPal in the description and in the comment section, and I got the Cash App right there. This is the Donta Show Network, true enough, but this is the Donta Show, but y'all are the network. Okay, so if you feeling generous and you feel like, hey, we want to see this movie come in October, come on, y'all. Lean on that Cash App. Lean on that PayPal. If you enjoyed this right here, this story, hit that like button and share the video. And with that, I'm out.